Hello everyone, Ace here, and today, well, I'm just going to have to go ahead and say it. Do not go to the home of Nick Fuentes. A statement that should be blatantly obvious to everyone here. In fact, this is a common sense statement that should apply to anyone's homes, really. Just don't try to go to people's homes in real life. That's a bad idea. That, however, is a memo that far-left activists seemingly haven't received, as demonstrated by Miss Marla Rose, who decided to visit Nick Fuentes' house after his home address got doxxed. In a classic case of play stupid games, win stupid prizes, her reward was getting pepper sprayed in the face and getting pushed down the stairs to his front porch. Law enforcement was of course called at this point, however they just had a brief little chat with Nick Fuentes as well as Marla Rose, and retrieved Miss Rose's phone from Nick Fuentes, because at the end of the day this was a case of Nick Fuentes engaging in self-defense, because a random stranger decided to show up to his house immediately after he got doxxed. And once she curled up into a ball and decided to become very passive very quickly, he stopped being aggressive, because again, this appears to be him legitimately trying to defend his home. Like I said, it is a bad idea to try to visit people's homes in general, though for what it's worth, I would argue that in the case of Nick Fuentes specifically, that is an especially bad idea. I am not a fan of Nick Fuentes. In fact, I think he glows brighter than the sun at this point. That does, however, imply a few things that may likely happen should you show up to his house. For one thing, if Mr. Fuentes is indeed a Fed, then he's not unarmed, which granted would make him on par with most of the population in the US. However, the fact that he's also a Fed means that the government might be less inclined to try to make him face criminal charges of any sort, meaning he might be able to push the definition of what exactly constitutes self-defense a little bit more than the average person. And it doesn't exactly hurt the fact that, again, he's an online personality, meaning he does, at the end of the day, have a legitimate concern over random people just showing up to his house with what would be unknown intentions to him. Then there's the third thing to consider, that being that if Nick Fuentes is a Fed, then that means he's teamed up with people that can very easily find information out about those that are trying to do him harm. Case in point, Miss Rose herself, very shortly afterwards, had her own home address doxxed, and as a result has been hit with multiple swattings, as well as getting several unwanted pizza deliveries sent to her house. The latter, I will admit, is a little bit amusing considering that hers is a vegan household, but ultimately I do have to condemn the swattings as well as the unwanted pizza deliveries. Ultimately though, with regards to Nick Fuentes himself, well, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, this appears to be a legitimate case of self-defense, because again, his home was doxxed and this random stranger did show up to his house as a result. Ultimately though, like I said, the big lesson here is don't show up to people's houses. Especially don't show up to the home of someone that might be a Fed, because chances are the rewards you'll receive aren't the kind you'll want. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.